We're back with our Working Smarter team. Starting us off is communication expert Steve Gavatorta and his feature, Straight Talk. Welcome back, Steve.
Good to be back.
I know. I love having you here. Last week, you advised us that establishing trust through the way we communicate is the foundation for mastery.
All right.
And that to do that, we must learn and understand others' behavioral styles.
That's correct.
So we can get our message across to them more successfully. Can you start us off with what those behavioral styles are and why this works so well?
Sure. There's really 4 behavior styles, and what I talk about is a 3-step process of first learning those 4 styles, which we'll be doing, then helping people read the styles of others with whom they interact with, then helping them adapt their style for effective communication.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are the 4 styles?
The first style is what we would call a dominant style. The second style is called an influence or influencing style. The third being what we call steady or steadiness style.
Okay. And
the last being a compliant or compliance style.
Okay. And tell us again why it is so important for us to, well, not again, because, we're going into this further now.
Sure.
Why it's so important to know these behavioral styles and understand them and read them. Why is this so important?
Right. As I said last week, the first step in building that trust is being able to connect with someone. When I can understand someone's behavior, when I can read those behaviors, when I say behavior, it's how they communicate, how they deal with change, risk-taking, conflict, what motivates them. When I can understand that in myself, as well as those people with whom I interact, I can make that connection. I can start understanding how best to interact with those people.
Okay. So that goes back again to once you learn the styles and you know them well, you know your own and others, then you said read them, and you're literally then reading someone almost like a book.
Absolutely.
So you can then respond to that. And
absolutely.
That's a great process. So now I know my style. I'm dominant. Somebody else is steady. I want to make sure I'm not speaking from a dominant perspective.
Exactly.
I want to be speaking from a steady person perspective to that steady person.
Absolutely. And that really covers every gamut of a job. Whether you're selling to a customer, you have to know those styles. If you're managing a team, you've got to understand the styles, the behavior styles of your respective team, so you know how to motivate each individual on that team. They may not all be motivated or behave the same way, so to speak.
No, of course not.
So it's knowing your team chessboard and how you need to manage each person respectively.
So you're telling us that literally you can learn these styles well enough to then be able to read them in others.
Absolutely.
With everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much.
Oh, absolutely. This is both is helpful personally and professionally. When I do workshops, I often get approached after the workshop with people asking, "Hey, I want my spouse to learn this skill set as well too." So it really covers the gamut, and it's a great foundation to really become great at interacting with others.
Okay, so let's go back over it again. You learn the behavior styles,
correct,
all the styles, and you're going to take us through that in the next weeks. You're going to give us each style and break it down for us so we better understand each of the 4 styles.
Absolutely.
One per week. And then we learn to read that style accurately in others using the platinum rule, not the golden rule.
That's
Do what unto others as they need to be spoken to, not how you want to be spoken to, and then adapting your communication style to others' needs.
Exactly.
To be heard best.
Yes. And
you want to be heard. If you just want to talk like I do, but if you want to really be heard, you have to adapt your style to others. Okay. Very good. Then what style are we going to start with next week?
We are going to start on the dominant style, which will be a lot of fun.
Okay, I wonder if that could be me.
We'll find out.
Okay. All right. Which style are you, by the way?
I'm a combination. Well, that's another thing I'm going to talk about. There's blended styles, too. It's not a black and white thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm a blend of what would be the dominant steadiness style, the steadiness style as well as the dominant style.
Okay.
A blended mix.
Very good. If you have a question you want to ask Steve that he'll answer either on or off the air, you can call it into our listener line at 877-999-1172, or you can email him at steve@boomerradioshow.com.
That's right.
Talk to you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Bye-bye.
Attention business owners and managers. If you don't have a sales force that consistently exceeds quota or consistent growth in yearly profits, then you're quickly losing your competitive edge, and we can change that. We are the Steve Gavatorta Group, a premier business communications consulting company with a client list that includes Bayer and New York Life. We're known as the Profitability Catalyst. To find out what we can do for your company, call us at 813-908-1343 or go to our website, gavatorta.com. That's Gavatorta.